NBC4 News at 11 a.m. starts with breaking news.
Right now at 11, it's day 4 of immigration protests, rallies, and calls for justice. Crews are cleaning up in downtown LA after large crowds of protesters and violent agitators left behind a trail of damage. And now Southern California braces for what happens next. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Annabelle Sedano.
And I'm Michael Brownlee. State and local leaders continue to call for peace after days of unrest. Yesterday alone, the LAPD says 42 people were arrested. Demonstrations that started off peacefully turned violent, leading to widespread damage and clashes between protesters and law enforcement. President Trump deployed the National Guard over the weekend, which Governor Newsom and others are calling a deliberate move to cause chaos.
I mean, you're seeing these authoritarian tendencies now are being acted out by this administration. And we're case in point as it relates to nationalizing, federalizing the National Guard, threatening now to put in Marines. But Donald Trump needs to pull back. He needs to stand down. Donald Trump is inflaming these conditions. This is Donald Trump's problem right now. And if he can't solve it, we will.
About an hour ago, the president criticized Newsom's response and talked about who he believes is behind this weekend's violence.
I like Gavin Newsom. He's a nice guy, but he's grossly incompetent. Everybody knows. All you have to do is look at the little railroad he's building. The people that are causing the problem are professional agitators. They're insurrectionists. They're bad people. They should be in jail. Thank you.
Governor Newsom says the state will sue the Trump administration, claiming the president illegally federalized the National Guard. We have live team coverage as Angelenos go back to work and school, while the immigration raids and backlash are expected to continue. Let's begin with NBC4's Brittany Hope. She's live in downtown LA, where the cleanup is underway. Brittany.
Hi, Annabelle. Yeah, first, I want to be specific about exactly where we are. We're at the corner of Temple and Alameda, right next to the LA VA clinic. Now, since the overnight hours, and you can see that line behind me, law enforcement from across our region has been stationed here with riot gear, helmets, batons, and now they're also joined by city sanitation workers and trucks who are trying to clean up the mess that was left behind. Now, it's been quiet this morning, at least in this part of downtown, but Mayor Karen Bass is speaking out against those who became violent this weekend.
The First Amendment right gives you the ability, again, to protest peacefully, but it does not give you the right to be violent, to create chaos, or to vandalize property, and that will not be tolerated. So I call on all Angelenos to continue expressing your right, your anger, your outrage, but to do it peacefully.
In an effort to keep the peace, there are police officers and sheriff's deputies along most streets in the area, especially around the Edward Roybal Federal Building and U.S. Courthouse, the VA, and the Los Angeles Mall. Much of those buildings are now covered in spray paint and graffiti with messages against ICE, President Trump, and the LAPD. LAPD does say 42 people were arrested on Sunday. Between them, the CHP, and the LA County Sheriff's Office for a range of charges from failure to disperse to looting, arson, and attempted murder. LA Police Chief Jim McDonnell explained what his officers experienced when what started as a peaceful protest became violent last night.
We had individuals out there shooting commercial-grade fireworks at our officers. That can kill you. We are overwhelmed as far as the number of people out there engaged in this type of activity and the type of things that they're doing. They'll take backpacks, and the backpack will have a cinder block in it. They have a hammer, and they'll break up the cinder block and use that, pass it around to throw at officers, to throw at cars, and throw at other people.
And now this morning in downtown LA, the focus really is that cleanup, but also protecting the multiple federal buildings that are here in this area. You know, since I got here, I've been kind of doing a walk around just to see. There's a lot of profanity, certainly on the buildings, but also when you look on the ground, this is why some of that cleanup is happening. I'm just going to reach down. There's been a lot of these that we've seen. It's black powder foam. So this is a lot of time what is released by law enforcement to create that smoke. So a lot of trash left over here, not just by protesters, but also by law enforcement in those clashes that became side by side last night and into the overnight hours. But again, at this point, exactly where we are, it's been quiet as of now. Reporting in downtown, Brittany Hope, NBC4 News.
All right, and Brittany, for months now, LA superintendent has vowed to protect students from immigration enforcement on campus. And this morning, he doubled down on that promise as staff and students within the district get ready for the last day of school tomorrow. NBC4's Lauren Coronado live in front of district headquarters now with the very latest for us. Lauren, good morning.
Michael, hi there. Between today and tomorrow, there are about 100 graduation ceremonies across LAUSD. The superintendent says that they will have perimeters outside each of those venues to try and protect their students and their families.
I've spoken with parents who've told me that their daughter would be the first in their family to graduate high school. And they're not going to be there to witness it because they have a fear of the place of graduation being targeted. Many of us here are immigrants or children of immigrants. We would be hypocrites if we took a step backwards from the position of protecting those who today face what our parents or ourselves faced years ago.
Now, as I go through this report, I want to note the numbers on your screen for LAUSD families and staff looking for support, including free legal support if needed. Now, Superintendent Carvalho has been very vocal about immigration and protecting students. He says security-like perimeters are set up at every graduation and ceremony site. He didn't go into detail beyond additional school police officers being at these venues. He says not to compromise their security plan, but he says these events, school sites, school bus stops, buses themselves, they're all protected by the district. In addition, he says parents will be able to stay at any of the venues where any of these ceremonies are happening until they feel safe enough to leave. He also talked about the importance of going to summer school, promising more schools offering summer school programs to limit travel for students and parents, plus online options as well. He also advised against school walkouts, really reiterating the fact that there will be more school officers at each school site. And he also said that that is a safe place. Any of these district locations will be safe for students because they will be having more of those school police officers on site as well. Of course, this is something that we will be monitoring throughout the day and as summer school, of course, begins next week as well. Reporting live in downtown LA, I'm Lauren Coronado, NBC4 News.
Good to know, Lauren. Thank you very much for that. Meantime, today, families met to demand answers and legal action after their loved ones were detained in recent immigration enforcement operations. NBC4's Lolita Lopez joins us live from downtown LA with their message. Good morning, Lolita.
Good morning, Annabelle. An emotional 1 hour plus of testimony and recounts from folks who say they cannot get in contact with their loved ones who were taken in those immigration raids that began on Friday. We are outside the Ambiance Clothing Manufacturing Warehouse. This is where one of those raids happened, as well as the store that was in the Fashion District. Let's take you to some of the video as people were here with signs, holding signs with the pictures of their loved ones. These are fathers and sons. These are mothers and sisters and aunts. And really what the folks are saying here is that they want to be able to reach out to talk to their loved ones. And right now they're getting absolutely no information about what is going on with them at this point. Here right now from a young lady who is telling us about the void that is now felt because her father, Jorge Luis, is no longer at home with them.
A bit empty because there's space missing in our home.
How many of you are in the family?
I have 3 younger brothers. Yes.
What worries you most knowing that your dad is not here for them?
I'd say their emotional state because just like me, they're very attached to my father.
And we should note that she said that her father was detained from the Ambiance store that was on downtown in the Fashion District. The warehouse here where we are standing on Santa Fe Avenue, also part of the raid on Friday. At that time, there were 44 administrative arrests, according to ICE, that had taken place. And again, folks here are saying that they just want to be able to contact their loved ones. Some of them have attorneys. They want to be part of the due process that is afforded to them as they're being held. We'll have much more this afternoon on this story, but for now we're live downtown. Lolita Lopez, NBC4 News.
Oh, well, the president of SEIU California is scheduled to be in federal court later today. David Huerta was detained during that ICE raid in downtown Los Angeles on Friday. The union says Huerta was also injured and pepper sprayed during the federal operation. Now, he is charged with felony conspiracy to impede an officer. National civil rights leaders are planning to rally with hundreds in protest demanding the release of Huerta and an end to the raids.
Stay with NBC4 throughout the day for the ongoing ICE protests and unrest in and around LA. We have continued coverage with a special section dedicated to immigration right now on our website, NBCLA.com or the NBCLA app.
And we have more breaking news here this morning. An Orange County judge has just sentenced former Orange County supervisor, Andrew Doe to 5 years in federal prison, which is the maximum sentence prosecutors are pushing for. Back in October, Doe resigned from the Board of Supervisors and pleaded guilty to a federal bribery conspiracy charge. He admitted to accepting more than $500,000 in bribes in exchange for funneling millions of dollars of COVID relief money to a charity linked to his daughter.
All right, coming up next here at 11, California's Attorney General is about to respond to the president sending National Guard troops into LA. We'll keep you posted.
Good morning. I'm Annette Arriola in downtown LA with a look at the damage in the aftermath following a weekend long full of protests. We'll have that coming up. Checking out this live picture of Long Beach, we're starting up the day with clouds and fog, eventually breaking for some sun and temperatures a little bit warmer. Stay tuned. We'll have your first alert forecast coming up next.
It's quiet in downtown LA this morning after protesters filled the streets this weekend. But you see it there. A lot of damage was left behind, including burned cars and graffiti. NBC4's Annette Arriola continues our coverage and is monitoring the cleanup efforts.
Hey there, good morning. Yeah, we started driving around the downtown area at about 3 o'clock this morning and trying to see exactly the extent of the damage that has been left behind from these protests. And you probably saw these images yesterday of some Waymo cars going up in flames. Well, this is what's left of them. A total of 5 vehicles completely burned to the ground here along Los Angeles Street, very close to the 101 freeway. Many of the buildings around downtown have also been vandalized, tagged with graffiti. Now, earlier today, we spotted a crew boarding up windows at a T-Mobile store along Broadway and 3rd Street. That store was also looted. Workers were sweeping up all of that shattered glass. And just as we were going off air yesterday at 11 p.m., LAPD officers were responding to reports of looting at the intersection of 8th and Broadway. That's an Adidas store. And when they arrived on scene, they spotted a person inside the store and were able to recover some stolen merchandise. Now, coming back out here, you can see again, these cars are still out here. Of course, the cleanup is still scheduled to begin at some point today because the streets out here are littered with debris. We'll send it back to you.
We have new video this morning of an Australian reporter shot with a rubber bullet during a live report in downtown LA. You saw it there. You can see the police officer firing in Lauren Thomas's direction during yesterday's protest. 9 Network released a statement after the incident saying Tomasi and her camera operator are safe and will continue their essential work covering these events.
I want to give you a live look right now over at LAX, where demonstrators gathered this morning to protest the new restrictions that come with President Trump's travel ban, which is now in effect.
Justice for all! No ban, no wall. Justice for all!
Demonstrators include immigration, Muslim and South Asian advocacy groups. Now, the new travel ban and its restrictions apply primarily to citizens from 12 African and Middle Eastern countries. Now, among the countries where travelers will be completely banned in the U.S., we're talking about Haiti, Iran, Libya, and Somalia. A partial travel ban will affect 7 countries, including Cuba and Venezuela. The White House cites foreign policy, national security, and counterterrorism objectives as the reasons for its new ban.
And today is the deadline the Department of Justice sets for California schools to pledge they won't allow transgender athletes to compete in female sports. It comes after a transgender athlete took home gold in the girls' high jump and triple jump at the CIF State Track and Field Championships. The DOJ argued that allowing male-born students to participate in female sports violates federal law. And if school districts don't make changes by today, legal action will be taken.
Well, police say the person accused of killing 2 people on on the Las Vegas Strip has turned himself in. That shooting appeared to have been captured during a live stream last night. And we got to warn you, the video is disturbing. You will see the suspected gunman approach someone and pull out a gun. And we stop the video as he begins to shoot. This was near the Bellagio fountain just before 11 p.m. Officers on patrol heard the shooting and ran in the direction of the gunfire. They found 2 victims on the sidewalk. Both were pronounced dead at the scene. Police are calling this an isolated case.
All right, guys, and closer to home, you see it there, all that fog, and it's just so gloomy out in Long Beach this morning. Want to check in with our meteorologist, Stephanie O&O. She's tracking the conditions for us.
Yes, it's that time of the year. We're talking about June gloom. We start up the mornings with low clouds and fog and then lifting for some sun. Unfortunately, this is a picture of downtown LA where we're looking at here again, the foggy conditions lingering, reduced visibility across the area, especially areas closer to the coast as we continue. So satellite and radar. So once again, started up with the clouds and fog around the valleys, but now we're beginning to see that clear up little by little, but still hanging out tight around the basin, around the coastline here, even stretching up into Ventura County as we continue. But temperatures right now, we're currently in the low 70s in San Bernardino, 69 in Ontario, 67 for you in West Covina, 75 in Santa Clarita. Over in LAX, temperatures at 65 for you as well. 64 in Long Beach, and temperatures in the area of Oxnard currently in the lower 60s, and eventually seeing a little bit more warming as we approach the afternoon hours with the clouds clearing and eventually seeing some sun. But for the city of Chino right now, temperatures for you at 72, and then as we continue through the afternoon around 3 p.m. we're talking about temperatures warming into the low 80s. We'll keep it that way until 5, and then starts to come down as we continue throughout the evening hours, eventually back down into the mid 60s later on tonight. So going over a couple of weather headlines for you. We do have the same weather pattern continuing. Morning clouds and fog as we head into the next couple of days, and then gradual clearing. Temperatures along the coast in the 70s, so nice and comfortable. And then temperatures a little bit further inland, and we're talking about the valleys around the Inland Empire in the 80s and 90s, especially as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, and then temperatures slightly cool before we warm back up as we head into your Father's Day Sunday. But high temperatures for later on this afternoon. It'll be warming into the upper 80s, low 90s. Hemet, Lake Elsinore, San Bernardino at 90. 97 in Victorville, 100 expected later on this afternoon for you in Lancaster, upper 80s in Van Nuys, 80 degrees for you in downtown LA. But let's go over the futurecast. As I mentioned, the weather pattern will sort of remain the same sort of as we continue into the next couple of days, starting up with the morning clouds and fog. And then as we head throughout the afternoon hours, eventually looking at sun. Again, this will be for Tuesday and Wednesday here the next couple of days. So for the basin, temperatures here will gradually warm and then eventually come down just a little bit. But we're talking about a degree or two. We're keeping it dry, plenty of sun for the coast. Foggy conditions as well as we head into the next couple of mornings, and then some sunshine for the valleys. Temperatures here eventually warming into the mid 80s Tuesday into Wednesday, then coming down little by little, about a degree or two as we head toward the latter part of the work week, and then warming back up as we head into Saturday and Sunday. And same story goes for the Inland Empire. In fact, for the IE, temperatures will be a little bit warmer for you. High desert, plenty of sun, triple-digit heat back down into the 90s by Wednesday. We'll keep those temperatures at 110 plus for the low deserts. It's going to be pretty hot for you. And for the mountains, sunny skies, temperatures the next couple of days in the 80s. That was your forecast. Back to you, Michael.
All right, Steph, appreciate it. Thank you. Well, breaking news here this morning. California Attorney General Rob Bonta just announced the state is filing a lawsuit against the Trump administration for federalizing the National Guard this weekend.
What we saw yesterday happened after the president's unnecessary, counterproductive, and, most importantly, unlawful order.
Bonta accuses President Trump of infringing on Governor Newsom's authority. Bonta says it also takes resources away from the National Guard during the critical wildfire season. All right, next here at 11, a Hollywood breakup, the split that could impact how we all stream.
New this morning, Warner Brothers Discovery is splitting up its brands. The media giant announced it plans to separate its cable networks and streaming services. Streaming and studios will handle everything from HBO content production to developing new movies. Global Network will cover CNN, TNT Sports, and Discovery Network. The Warner split is expected to be finalized by the middle of next year. And new developments in the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni legal saga. Today, a judge threw out Baldoni's $400 million countersuit against Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist. Baldoni's $250 million defamation suit against the New York Times was also tossed. Lively is suing Baldoni for sexual harassment and retaliation during filming of It Ends With Us. He denies the allegations. The case is set for trial next year.
Actor Christian Slater will be honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in the category of television. Actress Sarah Michelle Gellar will be there as well. Today's ceremony is kicking off here at 11:30 this morning. Well, the 2025 BET Awards are happening tonight at the Peacock Theater despite the ongoing protests in and around downtown Los Angeles. Mariah Carey, Snoop Dogg, Jamie Foxx, and Kirk Franklin will be honored with the BET Ultimate Icon Award. Meanwhile, Kendrick Lamar leads this year with 10 total nominations. By the way, Kevin Hart will host. The show starts at 5.
That's going to be a fun show.
Oh, yeah, it is.
And so is California Live. Michael Brownlee.
Always
Hello.
fun. Hello.
So nice to see you. All right, well, we are going to start the week off with some laughs. We love doing that.
Yes,
we
we
caught
do.
up with some of our favorite SNL cast members, from Bowen Yang to Ego Nwodim and Chloe Fineman, while they celebrate the 50th anniversary of the legendary comedy sketch show. Then, Father's Day is this
Michael.
Sunday,
Finally.
and it's your day to shine. And if you're looking for the perfect menu to spoil your pop, well, look no further. We've got an easy grilled spread that's fit for a king. That's coming up. You can join us for all that and more coming up next on California Live. What are your plans, Michael?
I don't know.
Nothing?
Hopefully I'll be surprised.
Zero plans, yes.
I have a
Bernie,
question.
Vinny, I mean, you guys better hook them up.
I know, that's what Vinny
Always.
says too all the time. He says, Father's Day, we end up doing all of the grilling, we end up doing all of the cooking. But
I'm
we
sorry,
do it
what
too for
about
Mother's Day. Agree, all the
feel like-
planning.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of the same.
on.
Every day is Father's Day for my husband, okay?
I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
I'll see you here at 3.